Greenland is the world's largest island. It sits between two oceans, closer to North America than Europe, yet politically tied to Scandinavia. A landmass 3 times the size of Texas, where almost all visible ground is locked beneath ice. What does it mean to live on a place that is still deciding whether it will ever truly belong to humans? From above, Greenland appears unfinished. A white plateau dominates the center.
So if you want more journeys into the unforgiving, the beautiful, and the unknown, subscribe. Hit that button and join us as we explore the places that don't fit on postcards.
A shield of ice rising gently toward a cold, quiet crown. This ice sheet covers most of the island, pressing downward with its own weight, thick enough in places to bury mountains. At the edges, the land fractures into fjords, rock walls, and narrow strips of coast where life has found purchase. The interior remains largely untouched. No roads cross it. No cities break its silence. It is a continent of ice pretending to be an island. The ice is not static. It flows. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, it creeps toward the sea, grinding rock into powder, carving valleys, erasing evidence of whatever came before. Glaciers spill outward like frozen rivers, some terminating in cliffs of blue ice that calve into the ocean with the sound of artillery. Icebergs are born here, massive luminous slabs that drift south into shipping lanes, carrying Greenland's signature far beyond its shores. Along the coast, the ice loosens its grip. Here, narrow settlements cling to rock ledges between mountain and sea. There are no roads connecting most of them. Boats, planes, and sleds do the work of highways. The sea is not a boundary, it is the network. In summer, it opens. In winter, it hardens into a second landscape, one that can be cross-hunted and trusted until it cannot. Kalaaallit, the land of the people, is how Greenlanders name their home. People arrived here thousands of years ago, following animals across shifting ice and open water. Survival demanded precision. Clothing from skin and fur, tools shaped for cold hands. Knowledge passed not in books, but in routes, winds, and snow textures. A mistake here is not an inconvenience. It is final, and yet people live here. The capital, Nuuk, feels less like a city and more like a pause in a landscape. Low buildings, painted in strong colors, stand against gray rock and open water. There are cafes, schools, music, and debate. Modern Greenland is not frozen in time. Satellite dishes rise beside drying racks for fish. Smartphones share space with harpoons. The past is present, but it does not dominate. Beyond Nuuk, the settlements thin quickly. Villages of a few hundred or a few dozen. People sit at the ends of fjords, reachable only by boat or air. Dogs still matter here, not as symbols, but as engines. Sled dogs wait in disciplined lines, bred for endurance, capable of pulling loads across terrain where machines fail. Their voices carry far in the cold air, sharp and constant, a reminder that movement here still relies on muscle and instinct. The sea feeds Greenland. Cold, nutrient-rich waters support fish, seals, whales. Hunting is not a hobby. It is regulated, measured, and argued over, but it remains essential in many places. Store-bought food arrives by ship or plane, expensive and unreliable. When weather closes in, freezers empty fast. Knowledge of the hunt is a form of security. But Greenland has never been isolated from global forces. Norse settlers arrived over 1,000 years ago, bringing sheep, churches, and a European worldview to the edge of the Arctic. They built farms along the southern fjords, places where grass still grows in summer. For centuries, they endured. Then they vanished. Climate cooled. Trade routes shifted. Their bones remained, but their society did not adapt fast enough. Later came Danish rule. Greenland became a colony, then a strategic asset. Missionaries, traders, administrators followed. Language shifted. Systems changed. Decisions were made elsewhere. In the 20th century, The Cold War reached this ice-bound place. Air bases were carved from permafrost. Radar stations watched the sky. Greenland became a forward position in a conflict that never turned hot, but never truly left. History here is not loud. It is layered. Quiet pressures, gradual changes. The ice sheet records time better than any archive. Snowfalls, compresses, traps air. Layer upon layer builds downward, preserving atmospheres from thousands of years ago. Scientists drill deep cores, reading past climates in bubbles no bigger than grains of sand. Greenland remembers when the world was warmer and colder. It offers evidence without opinion. Today, that ice is thinning. Glaciers retreat. Fjords lengthen. Places once locked in white now show bare rock. The changes are not uniform, but they are consistent enough to be unmistakable. For Greenland, warming is not abstract. It alters travel routes, hunting seasons, building foundations. Permafrost softens. Houses shift. Cemeteries sink. And yet, melting also exposes opportunity. Minerals once unreachable now sit closer to the surface. Rare earth elements, iron, potential oil and gas offshore. Global attention sharpens. Investors arrive with promises. Governments weigh independence against economics. Greenland's population is small, but the land beneath them is vast and increasingly valuable. Independence is a constant undercurrent here. Greenland governs many of its own affairs, but Denmark still provides financial support. Breaking away would mean control and risk. Self-determination has weight in a place where survival has always depended on careful calculation. Far north, beyond the reach of most settlements, the land grows harsher still. Mountains rise abruptly from the sea, dark and sharp. Fjords narrow into corridors of shadow. The sun disappears for months, then returns without setting. Time loses its usual structure. Sleep, work, and thought bend to light and dark rather than clocks. In the far northeast lies one of the largest national parks on Earth. No roads, no permanent towns. Just rock, ice, and animals adapted to scarcity. Musk oxen move in small herds, their coats heavy and unmoving in the wind. Polar bears patrol the ice edge, following seals across unstable platforms. Here, humans are visitors, briefly tolerated. Travel across Greenland's interior is rare. Those who attempt to prepare for years. Skiing across the ice sheet means weeks of white in every direction. No landmarks, no shelter. Wind sculpts the surface into ridges that resist progress. Temperatures drop low enough to make exposed skin brittle. Equipment fails. Thought slows. It is not an adventure in the romantic sense. It is an exercise in discipline. Greenland resists simplification. It is not just ice, not just climate change, not just indigenous resilience or geopolitical potential. It is all of these at once, layered like the snow that built its heart. In the south, fjords cut deep into green valleys during summer. Sheep graze. Flowers bloom briefly, urgently. The contrast feels unreal, an Arctic island producing hay beneath a midnight sun. Icebergs drift past pastures, silent and indifferent. Two worlds overlap without merging. Leaving Greenland is easier than understanding it. Planes lift off from short runways carved into rock. Ships turn south, carrying fish, data, people. From a distance, the island shrinks back into abstraction. A white mass on a map, a symbol, a warning. But on the ground, life continues in measured rhythms. Children walk to school in insulated boots. Hunters check weather reports and ice conditions. Elders speak a language shaped by snow and sea. Modern problems arrive, but they do not erase older ones. They stack. Greenland does not ask to be admired. It does not perform. It simply exists vast and unfinished, reminding the rest of the world that there are still places where nature sets the terms, where history moves slowly and where the future remains undecided. At the edge of the Arctic, the ice breathes, and the people watch it closely. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Stay with Greenland long enough, and it stops feeling distant, not familiar, but close enough to listen. Here, silence isn't empty. It has texture, wind scraping across ice, water knocking softly against hulls, the faint mechanical hum of a generator keeping lights alive through a polar night. Silence here carries information. You learn to read it the way others read traffic. Weather is never background. It is the main character. A clear sky can mean safe travel or lethal cold. Fog rolls in without warning, swallowing fjords whole. Storms don't announce themselves loudly. They arrive as pressure changes, as unease. Locals notice before instruments do. The land speaks first. Conversations in Greenland are rarely rushed. Not because people are slow, but because rushing makes no sense. Boats leave when seas allow. Flights depart when winds agree. Plans remain flexible by necessity. The environment sets the pace, and everyone else adapts or suffers. There is a particular kind of courage here. Not loud, not defiant. It is quiet acceptance mixed with preparation. Extra fuel, extra food, redundancy. The understanding that help may not come quickly or at all. You are responsible for yourself and often for others. That responsibility shapes people. Children grow up aware of risk early. Not afraid, aware. They learn which ice can be trusted, which slopes slide, which sounds mean danger. This knowledge is practical, not romantic. It is inherited like a tool, sharpened through use. Darkness changes things. During the long winter night, the sun disappears entirely. Weeks pass without a sunrise. Artificial light fills rooms, but cannot replace the horizon. Sleep patterns fracture. Time becomes elastic. Some struggle. Others find focus. Creativity often spikes here. Music, writing, art filling the absence of light. Then the sun returns. Not gradually, abruptly. One day it simply refuses to set. Shadows stretch endlessly. Energy surges. People stay awake too long. Projects multiply. Repairs begin. Boats are painted. Nets are mended. There is urgency in summer because everyone knows how quickly it ends. Greenland's beauty is not gentle. It does not invite lingering. Mountains rise sharply, exposing rock stripped clean by ice. Fjords are deep, dark, and cold enough to erase mistakes. The ocean carries ice even in warm months, shifting constantly, unpredictably. And yet, there is humor here. Dry, observant, often aimed at the weather or bureaucracy, or the absurdity of global politics, paying sudden attention to a place it ignored for centuries. Greenlanders are not passive subject to change. They are fully aware of who is watching now and why. Change brings tension. Young people leave for education and return unsure where they fit. Old skills meet new technologies. Traditions evolve or fade. Language holds strong, but pressure is constant. Global culture arrives via screens, clashing gently or violently with local values. There is no single Greenlandic experience. Coastal towns differ. North differs from south. East feels almost separate. What unites them is distance, from power centers, from easy assumptions, from the idea that progress must look the same everywhere. Some nights, the aurora moves across the sky without sound. Green curtains folding and unfolding above frozen ground. It feels theatrical, but impersonal. The lights are not for anyone. They do not celebrate or warn. They simply occur. People step outside anyway. Even after a lifetime, it never becomes routine. The sea ice tells stories. Its patterns reveal currents and wind history. Cracks speak of pressure and movement. Hunters read it the way others read terrain. One wrong judgment can mean drifting away from land. carried silently into open water. Rescue is not guaranteed. Fear exists here, but it is managed, acknowledged, respected. Fear sharpens awareness. Recklessness is not admired. In Greenland, survival is not heroic. It is normal. The land does not reward ambition. It rewards patience. Buildings are designed for cold, not style. Pipes are visible, elevated, protected from frozen ground that shifts and breaks foundations. Colors are bright, not decorative, but practical. In snowstorms, visibility matters. A red house survives longer in memory than a gray one. Cemeteries are small. Ground is hard to dig. Graves sit shallow. Some areas cannot bury at all. Death is handled with pragmatism. Another adjustment in a place that allows little sentimentality. And yet, there's attachment. People know the exact curves of their coastline, the shape of distant peaks, the sound of specific winds. Leaving hurts. Returning feels like relief mixed with resignation. Greenland does not let go easily. Global conversations about climate often feel abstract elsewhere. Here they feel physical. Ice that once supported travel now thins earlier each year. Seasons blur. Animals shift routes. Predictability erodes. Knowledge passed down for generations requires constant updating. This is not collapse. It is recalibration. Some see opportunity. Longer shipping seasons. New fisheries. Tourism. Others see loss. Cultural erosion. Environmental risk. Both are correct. Greenland stands at a crossroads that no one else fully understands, but many wish to influence. Maps exaggerate Greenland's size, but reality exceeds distortion. Standing on a ridge overlooking a fjord, scale becomes oppressive. Mountains dwarf thought. Distances defy estimation. You do not conquer views like this. You endure them. The interior remains a blank space in human terms. Not empty, but uninterested. Ice stretching to the horizon in all directions. Wind carving the surface into repetition. No sound beyond breath and fabric. It forces confrontation with self. Many leave early. A few stay longer than planned. None leave unchanged. Greenland has no center, no heart you can point to. Its identity is distributed across ice, coast, history, and uncertainty. Attempt to summarize it always falls short. Perhaps that is the point. This is a place that refuses reduction, not a warning, not a refuge, not a prize. Simply a land where the margins still dominate, where nature has not stepped aside. At the edge of habitability, Greenland continues, not waiting, not asking permission. And as the world grows louder, faster, and warmer, this vast island remains what has always been: present, indifferent, and deeply human at its edges. Thanks for watching. See you soon. There is a moment, after enough time in Greenland, when you stop measuring it against anywhere else. No comparisons, no metaphors. The place stands on its own terms. People here don't talk about the Arctic the way outsiders do. That word feels distant, abstract. They talk about today, about ice conditions, about fuel, about whether the weather will hold long enough to finish what must be done. Big ideas shrink quickly when logistics dominate daily life. Movement defines everything. Even standing still is temporary. The ground shifts, ice advances and retreats. Shorelines subtly redraw themselves. In some places, the land rises as the weight of ancient ice eases. In others, erosion wins. Greenland never settles into a final shape. That instability seeps into thought. Plans remain provisional. Promises include caveats. If the weather allows, if the ice stays, if the boat runs. This is not pessimism. It is accuracy. Certainty is a luxury Greenland does not offer. Distance here is deceptive. A village visible across a fjord may be unreachable for days. A mountain that looks close can take hours to approach. The air is so clear that scale collapses. Judgment must be retrained. Overconfidence fades quickly. In winter, movement contracts. Darkness closes the land inward. Travel narrows to known routes. Risk tolerance drops. People turn toward interiors. Homes, workshops, conversations. Stories stretch longer. Memory fills gaps left by absent light. This is when history surfaces, not as dates, but as lived consequence. Old relocations, forced changes, lost hunting grounds, promises made elsewhere. The past is not archived, it circulates. It informs skepticism, shapes trust. Silence often says more than speech. Greenland remembers who decided things without asking. At the same time, humor survives. It has to. Dry jokes cut through bleak conditions. Sarcasm acts as insulation. Laughter is not loud, but it is sharp, a way of keeping control when circumstances offer little. Outsiders often arrive looking for purity. Untouched landscapes, ancient cultures, simple narratives. They leave confused. Greenland is modern and traditional, wounded and resilient, open and guarded. It does not perform identity on demand. People here are not symbols. They are tired sometimes, frustrated, ambitious, proud, ordinary. They argue about jobs, education, politics, family, just with fewer people and more ice. Infrastructure is fragile. A single damaged dock can isolate a community. A delayed supply ship reshapes diets. Power outages are expected, not exceptional. Preparedness is cultural. Backup plans are social. In small settlements, everyone matters. Absence is visible. Skill shortages are immediate. If one person leaves, a role may disappear entirely. This creates pressure, but also interdependence. Individualism softens when survival overlaps. The land enforces accountability. Greenland's animals are not mascots. They are neighbors, competitors, resources. Encounters are direct. Polar bears are treated with seriousness. Not all. They are beautiful. But they kill without drama. Distance is safety. Respect is survival. The sea remains unpredictable. Ice shifts overnight. Winds reverse without warning. Boats travel cautiously, reading water texture, iceberg color, current movement. Technology helps, but experience leads. Many learn by watching elders, not through lectures, through observation. Timing, silence. When someone chooses not to go out, that decision carries weight. Caution earns respect here. Education often means leaving. Young Greenlanders travel south for schools that do not exist at home. They return changed, sometimes empowered, sometimes detached. Reintegration is not automatic. The land expects familiarity, not credentials. This creates tension, quiet, persistent. Cities elsewhere promise anonymity. Greenland offers none. Everyone knows who you are, where you come from, who raised you. Privacy exists, but invisibility does not. Reputation travels faster than boats. And yet, there's freedom. Freedom from traffic, from crowds, from constant noise. Space here is not empty. It is available, a psychological relief that many do not recognize until they lose it. Art in Greenland reflects restraint, not excess, not spectacle. Carvings are small, music often minimal. Visual art favors form and material over decoration. This is not aesthetic choice alone. It mirrors environment. Nothing extraneous survives long here. Even language carries efficiency. Words built for precision. Snow described by behavior, not appearance. Ice categorized by trustworthiness. Vocabulary evolves from need. When visitors talk about beauty, locals often talk about danger. The two coexist inseparable. Beauty distracts. Danger teaches focus. The interior ice remains largely uninhabited, but not ignored. It dominates climate, identity, politics. It is Greenland's spine. Its presence shapes everything, even for those who never approach it, and it is always moving. This motion is slow enough to ignore, but powerful enough to reshape coastlines. Ice does not hurry. It outlasts. Even in retreat, it defines a timeline. Greenland teaches patience by force. Global interest comes and goes in waves. Strategic relevance rises, then fades, then returns. Greenland has learned not to react quickly. Attention often arrives with conditions attached. People listen, then decide. In some places, abandoned buildings stand as reminders of failed plans. Industrial dreams that did not account for reality. Rusted machinery, empty dormitories, ghosts of ambition misaligned with environment. Nature reclaims quickly. Moss creeps in. Ice cracks foundations. Wind strips paint. Greenland does not preserve mistakes. Despite everything, life continues with understated determination. Birthdays are celebrated. Music plays. Meals are shared. Small joys carry disproportionate weight. When options are limited, meaning concentrates. Time here feels heavier, not slower, denser. Each season distinct. Each decision remembered. Nothing blurs together. Visitors often ask how people endure it. The answer is simple. They don't endure Greenland. They live with it. Acceptance replaces resistance. Adaptation replaces control. This is not surrender. It is alignment. Greenland does not offer easy hope, but it offers honesty. And that honesty is rare. At the edge of habitability, where ice still commands respect, Greenland continues to exist without explanation. Not frozen in the past. Not rushing toward the future. Just present. Massive. Unresolved. A place that does not need be understood to be real. Thanks for watching. See you soon. There's a kind of honesty that only appears when comfort disappears. Greenland lives in that space. Nothing here pretends to be easier than it is. Doors are heavy. Clothing is layered. Work is physical. Even rest requires preparation. You don't drift into safety. You build it, maintain it, defend it against cold, moisture, and time. This shapes temperament. People speak plainly, not unkindly, but without ornament. Praise is brief. Complaints are specific. Drama feels wasteful when energy is finite. Words matter because conditions make them matter. When something breaks, it cannot wait. A failed heater is not inconvenient. It is urgent. A damaged boat is not a delay. It is isolation. Solutions are practical, often improvised, always shared. Someone has spare parts. Someone knows how to fix it. Someone remembers how it used to be done. Memory is currency here. Stories are not nostalgia. They are instruction. Which route worked? Which storm surprised? Which choice cost someone dearly? The past stays useful. Isolation changes relationships. Disagreements don't explode. They linger. You can't avoid each other forever. Resolution becomes necessary. Pride bends. Silence stretches. Eventually, something gives. Community survives because it must. Visitors sometimes mistake this calm for emotional distance. It isn't. Emotion runs deep, but it stays contained. The land teaches restraint. Excess emotion burns energy. Control preserves it. There's grief here, too. Accidents happen. The margin for error is thin. Loss is familiar. Memorials are modest. Names spoken softly. Life continues, not because it is easy, but because stopping is not an option. Children learn resilience without naming it. They dress themselves early, carry responsibility early, understand consequences early, not because they are forced, but because the environment makes it unavoidable. Education is practical as much as academic. Navigation, weather, tools, cooperation. These lessons are as important as reading and math. Survival literacy runs alongside formal schooling. Technology has not erased this. GPS can fail. Batteries die. Signals vanish. Knowledge stored only in devices is not enough. Redundancy remains cultural. Greenland's remoteness protects it and exposes it. Trends arrive late, but arrive fully formed. Global debates land abruptly, often without context. Climate, sovereignty, economics. Ideas discussed thousands of kilometers away suddenly shape local futures. This creates friction. People here are used to being observed, studied, explained, rarely consulted. That history has sharpened skepticism. Trust is earned slowly, yet curiosity remains. Greenland is not closed. It is cautious. Those who stay long enough notice a shift. Doors open. Conversations deepen. Humor becomes warmer. Respect builds through consistency, not enthusiasm. The landscape rewards attention. Clouds move differently here. Light changes direction unexpectedly. Shadows stretch in unfamiliar ways. The sea reflects color with brutal clarity. No haze, no softness. Everything Everything feels close, even when it isn't. Night carries a different weight. In winter, darkness is total. Not cinematic, complete. Streetlights carve small islands of visibility. Beyond them, blackness absorbs everything. Sound travels farther. Awareness sharpens. You move deliberately. Some people struggle with this. Others thrive. The mind adapts or rebels. There is no middle ground. Then comes a return of light. The first sunrise after months of absence stops people mid-step. Work pauses. Conversations end. Faces turn toward the horizon. It lasts only minutes, but it restores something essential. Greenland teaches gratitude without sentimentality. Food tastes different here, not because it is exotic, but because effort saturates it. Fish cleaned by hand, meat harvested with care, nothing wasted. Portions reflect respect for labor and life. Waste feels offensive in a place that demands efficiency. Consumption is conscious, repair is preferred. Replacement is expensive, uncertain, delayed. Objects last longer here because they must. Even leisure reflects environment. Entertainment is communal. Gatherings matter. Music fills rooms during storms. Board games stretch evenings. Conversation replaces constant stimulation. There's time to think, sometimes too much. Mental health is an unspoken challenge. Isolation amplifies thoughts. Darkness magnifies doubt. Support systems exist, but stigma lingers. Strength is valued. Vulnerability, less so. Change is happening. Slowly. Greenland is not static. Young voices grow louder. Art evolves. Language adapts. Traditions shift. Nothing is frozen in amber, not even the ice. This unsettles some, excites others. Change always costs something. The question here is who pays and who decides. Greenland's geography makes escape difficult. You cannot simply drive away. Leaving requires intention, resources, and weather cooperation. That reality forces confrontation with problems, with people, with self. Many who leave feel pulled back, not by comfort, by clarity. Life elsewhere can feel loud, crowded, diffuse. Greenland compresses experience. Everything feels closer to consequence. Some find that grounding. Others feel trapped. Neither reaction is wrong. The land does not judge. It waits. Waiting is Greenland's dominant. rhythm, waiting for ice to set, waiting for storms to pass, waiting for ships, waiting for light. Patience is not passive here. It is active, alert, ready to move when conditions allow. That readiness extends identity. Greenland is still becoming itself, negotiating between past and future, between autonomy and interdependence, between preservation and possibility. There are no simple answers. Anyone offering them has not listened long enough. The island's vastness humbles ambition. Its fragility demands care. Its people carry both with quiet intensity. At the edge of the world's attention, Greenland continues to live its own life. Measured, watchful, unresolved. It does not ask to be saved. It does not ask to be celebrated. It asks only to be understood on its own terms. And even then, it remains partially unknowable. A place where ice still shapes destiny, where human presence feels provisional, where endurance is ordinary. Greenland stands, not as a symbol, but as a reminder that there are still places where the world does not bend easily. Thanks for watching. See you soon. There comes a point when Greenland no longer feels extreme, not because it softens, but because you recalibrate. Cold becomes a parameter, not a threat. Distance becomes expected. Uncertainty becomes routine. What once felt harsh begins to feel precise, even fair. The land is not cruel. It is consistent. Consistency is rare elsewhere. Here, cause and effect remain visible. If preparation is lacking, consequences follow. If care is taken, survival improves. There are no shortcuts disguised as progress. The environment strips away illusion. This clarity changes how people measure success. Success is not accumulation. It is continuity. Keeping a boat running through another season. Keeping elders supplied through winter. Keeping knowledge alive long enough to pass it on. These are quiet victories. They don't scale. They don't trend. But they endure. Time behaves differently here. Years are not stacked neatly. They are marked by winters remembered, storms survived, routes lost and rediscovered. Memory orients more than calendars. People ask not when, but during which winter. The land teaches humility without preaching it. You do not dominate Greenland. You negotiate with it. Negotiation requires listening. Ice makes sounds most people never hear. Low cracks, sudden reports, subtle shifts beneath feet. Those who live here learn to interpret them. Silence becomes a warning sign rather than comfort. Wind has personality. Direction matters more than speed. Some winds bring clear skies and dangerous cold. Others carry snow that erases all contrast, flattening the world into white confusion. You learn which to trust, which to avoid. Navigation here is intimate. Landmarks are memorized, not labeled. A rock shaped like an animal. A slope that always drifts last. A fjord that freezes unevenly. Maps help, but familiarity saves lives. This intimacy extends a loss. When someone is gone, their absence changes routines. Their role does not disappear. It is redistributed. Community absorbs impact, quietly. There is little room for romantic tragedy. Grief is acknowledged, then folded into forward motion. Greenland does not pause for mourning. It offers no exemptions. That reality fosters resilience, but also fatigue. Burnout exists here, just less visible. Limited options mean limited escape. Some leave suddenly. Others stay longer than they should. There is no formula for balance. Nature does not provide answers, only conditions. The idea of wilderness feels inaccurate here. This land has been traveled, hunted, named, remembered. Even where no permanent settlements exist, stories remain, routes traced in memory, campsites used and reused. Greenland is not empty, it is lightly held. That lightness is intentional. Heavy footprints do not last here. Infrastructure bends the terrain, not the other way around. Roads end abruptly. Airports feel provisional. Everything acknowledges that permanence is an aspiration, not a guarantee. And yet there is pride, not loud, not defensive. A steady pride rooted in competence, in knowing how to live where many cannot, in maintaining continuity against odds that outsiders rarely understand. Greenlandic identity is not built on isolation alone. It is built on adaptation, adapting to shifting climates, to political pressure, to cultural change. Adaptation is not loss, it is survival. Still, something fragile persists beneath it all, a fear not of cold or darkness, but of erasure. Languages fade, skills narrow. Younger generations inherit a world reshaped by forces far beyond their coastlines. The challenge is not only staying alive, but staying distinct. This tension hums beneath daily life. You hear it in debates about it. education, about development, about how much outside influence is too much, and how much opportunity is too little. There are no easy answers. Greenland exists in negotiation with the future. Tourists arrive seeking awe. Some find it. Others leave unsettled. The land does not perform spectacle on command. It offers long stretches of nothing punctuated by moments of overwhelming presence. Those moments cannot be scheduled. They must be waited for. Waiting is a discipline. In that waiting, perspective shifts. Small problems shrink. Large questions sharpen. What matters? What lasts? What is worth carrying forward? Greenland does not answer, but it reframes the questions. The sky here feels closer. Clouds move with intention. Light feels directional, purposeful. At certain angles, the ice reflects blue, so deep it feels artificial. At others, everything washes into gray. Color exists, but selectively. When it appears, it feels earned. People mirror this restraint. Expression is deliberate, not because emotion is absent, but because excess has consequences. Energy can serve as energy available when needed. This pragmatism can be misread as coldness. It isn't. It is care expressed through reliability. If someone says they will help, they do. If they cannot, they say so. Promises mean something here. Greenland has little tolerance for performance. Action matters more than intention. This ethic extends to leadership. Authority is tested by competence. Titles matter less than capability. In small communities, failure is visible and remembered. There's accountability without spectacle. Modern life presses in regardless. Internet connects remote settlements to global currents. News arrives instantly. Trends ripple across icebound places. This connection brings opportunity and noise. Filtering becomes necessary. Not everything needs attention. Not every debate belongs here. Greenland teaches selectivity. The land itself filters who stays. Those seeking dominance leave frustrated. Those seeking clarity often remain longer than planned. What stays with people after leaving Greenland is not a single image. It is a feeling of scale pressing inward, of silence that feels active, of effort translating directly into outcome, of a place that does not bend to convenience. In a world increasingly optimized for ease, Greenland remains stubbornly resistant. That resistance is its power, not as a symbol, not as a warning, but as proof that not everything must accelerate, that some places still move at the speed of weather, ice, and human breath. Greenland does not offer escape. It offers perspective, and perspective, once gained, is difficult to unlearn. Even far away, something lingers, a memory of light that never set, of darkness that demanded attention, of a land that asked you to meet halfway, or not at all. Greenland stays with you, not because it overwhelms, but because it clarifies. A place where survival is ordinary, where endurance is uncelebrated, where life continues without spectacle. Still massive, still unresolved, still there. Thanks for watching. See you soon.